Nia was struggling with hunger after losing her husband. When Angelina Jolie heard her desperate voice saying, "My baby is hungry," she made that move that would change everything. "My son lost his life because of you." These cruel words that 21-year-old Nia Jefferson heard at her husband's funeral had wounded her heart. The person who said these things was Margaret Jefferson, her mother-in-law. While the young mother was holding her 3-month-old baby in her arms, she was also trying to stay strong on her feet. Moreover, the insults she heard were terrible, as if it wasn't the deadly disease that put her husband in the grave. But she was. Just 6 months earlier, they had been very happy. Even when James was ill, James Jefferson had been immediately attracted to Nia when he first saw her. James, a white young man studying architecture at Cal State Long Beach, had fallen head over heels for Nia the moment they met on campus. Nia, on the other hand, was studying education and was a very intelligent girl. James saw in this young woman not only beauty but also intelligence and a strong character. Nia, meanwhile, was captivated by James's unbiased, sincere approach. However, these happy days were not a harbinger of the nightmare-filled days to come. For now, everything was going smoothly. "You are the most elegant and lovely woman I have ever seen in my life," James told her when they first met. "And I'm not just talking about your outer beauty. I'm talking about the beauty of your heart." Nia felt the same way about him. "James, you are different. I feel so safe with you for the first time in my life." But their relationship and marriage were not easy, because there was a big problem. James's family absolutely did not accept their son being with a black woman. His father, Franklin Jefferson, was a successful businessman in the real estate industry, and family prestige was more important to him than anything else. "We will never accept you marrying this girl, James," Franklin said sternly. "This marriage will ruin our business. What will people say?" His mother Margaret also opposed the marriage. "What will our grandchildren look like? Where will they belong? This marriage will never work. Come to your senses," she said. But James was determined. He had no intention of abandoning the woman of his life no matter what, because his love for Nia was stronger than his family's prejudices. "Mom, Dad, if you don't accept Nia, you'll lose me too. I'm going to marry this girl because I love her." Hearing these words, the family gave James a very sharp response. "If you marry this girl, we will disinherit you. You will have nothing to do with our company. Don't even think about it, James," they said. However, James gave his family a short answer that summed up his love perfectly. "I don't care. Money can't buy my happiness," he said. "And you? Can you stand up against your family for your love?" James and Nia got married despite all the negativity and family pressure. They had a small, simple, but happy wedding with only a few close friends in attendance. The happiness on Nia's face as she wore her wedding dress was matched by the love in James's eyes. And now, he had started his married life with the woman he had always wanted. The couple had no financial difficulties in their lives. For now, James worked at an architecture firm, and Nia was preparing for her teaching career. They lived in a small apartment, but their love made everything beautiful. Initially, everything was going well, and they were painting the picture of a happy family. However, they were unaware that dark days awaiting them were approaching. 1 minute. Before we continue with our story and its surprising ending, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let us know in the comments what city you're watching from. Your valuable support is important to us. 6 months later, Nia became pregnant. James's happiness was evident. "We're going to be parents. This is the best news in the world. My love, you've made me so proud. I love you." During her pregnancy, Nia was very happy, because James took very good care of her, accompanied her to every doctor's appointment, and prepared everything necessary for the baby. "We're having a son," he said after the ultrasound. "Let's name him Noah." "That's a beautiful name. Noah Jefferson. It sounds wonderful. However, in the 6th month of pregnancy, a situation they never wanted to face would come to light. James had started feeling tired in recent days. At first, they attributed it to work stress, but as the fatigue gradually increased, they decided to see a doctor. The results of numerous tests turned James's life upside down. Lung cancer. And it was in an advanced stage. "How much time do I have?" James asked the doctor. "With treatment, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, we're not sure." Nia collapsed at that moment. "No, this can't be. Our baby is going to be born. We were going to be happy together." James tried to comfort her. "Nia, don't be sad. Don't worry, I'll get better. We'll hold our son in our arms together," he said. Would his illness allow this dream to come true? James's chemotherapy process had begun, but the treatment process was very difficult. Chemotherapy left James completely exhausted. Nia was struggling with her pregnancy and taking care of her husband. They spent day and night in the hospital. When James's family learned about the situation, they forgot their resentment between them and started visiting their son. But when they came, they were still cold and distant towards Nia. Margaret was terrified. The thought of losing her son was agonizing, and she needed someone to blame. Nia was an easy target. This illness started during a very stressful time. The stress of marriage, a worthless life. It all wore James down. Franklin supported her. And now there's a child on the way. My poor son couldn't handle all the responsibility. These accusations broke Nia's heart. She felt as if her husband's illness was her fault. James was very angry at these words. "Mom, Dad, enough. Nia is the most beautiful thing in my life. Without her, I couldn't cope with this illness." He had never withheld his support for his wife. Days and weeks passed, and the time for his son's birth was approaching. During this time, he had grown very weak, and his hair and eyebrows had fallen out. His terminal illness had done him one last favor. He had the opportunity to hold his little son in his arms. At that moment, he was the happiest man in the world. "Look, Nia, how beautiful our son is. He looks just like his mother. You're such a handsome father," said Nia, her eyes brimming with tears. However, James was now nearing the end of his life. During this time, he held Noah in his arms, told him stories, and sang songs. It was as if he were saying goodbye to his beloved son. "So, Nia," James said in his final weeks, "if I'm not here, tell Noah beautiful things about his father. And be strong. You're a wonderful mother." "Don't say that, James. You'll get better, and we'll raise our son together." 3 months after these hopeless words were spoken, her husband's condition had worsened. The disease had progressed significantly and was now in its final stages. She couldn't change the fate that awaited her. And then the expected painful news came. James had passed away. When her husband died, Nia's world collapsed. She had lost the person she loved most in life, forever. To make matters worse, James's family blamed her at the funeral. "My son lost his life because of you," Margaret had said. "That marriage was too much for him." Franklin added, "You drained his life force. The marriage stress. These things destroyed my son." These words pierced Nia like arrows. James's family saw the young woman as an enemy and abandoned her and their own grandchildren, leaving them to fend for themselves. Her own family lived in Africa, so she couldn't return to them. She was alone in Los Angeles, penniless. The money James left behind had gone toward funeral expenses. The rent was overdue, and the bills hadn't been paid. On top of that, she had lost her milk from grief. Noah was crying from hunger, and she had no milk to give him. Nia spent her nights crying. Maybe they were right. Maybe James would have been happier if he hadn't loved me, she thought. But then she looked at Noah and saw James's eyes. She couldn't feed her son properly, and she wasn't eating well herself. This went on for months. One evening, unable to bear her baby's crying any longer, she decided to go to the grocery store where she owed money. "I hope they'll be understanding this time and have mercy on us and lend us some milk," she said. This decision was like the key to the door that would open the door to a miracle. Because at the market she went to, she would meet someone she might never have met in her life. And this person was the one who would change her destiny. Angelina Jolie entered the small corner market on Santa Monica Boulevard to pick up a few things for her trip to New York before filming, planning to do some quiet shopping. She was wearing sunglasses and simple but high-quality clothes. As she was browsing the shelves, she caught the eye of the market owner, Hassan al-Rashid. Hassan, who had been running the market for 20 years, was a man in his 50s with a stern gaze. While Angelina was looking for water and snacks, she heard the doorbell ring. When she saw who it was, she continued shopping while listening. A young woman was struggling to walk with a 3-month-old baby crying in her arms. The woman's eyes were swollen, and her face showed signs of deep exhaustion. Realizing the seriousness of the conversation, Angelina paid attention. "Mr. Hassan," said the young woman in a trembling voice, "I'm Nia Jefferson. I was here last week. Please, just give me a box of baby milk for my son. I'll pay you back as soon as I can." Hassan kept his head down and continued counting money at the cash register, his voice cold and harsh. "Nia, you haven't paid the $550 you owe me from last month, and you're back again. This isn't a charity." The baby must have been frightened by the man's voice, because he began to cry even harder. Nia tried to calm him down, her voice growing more desperate. "Please, Mr. Hassan, can't you see how my son is? He's very hungry. He's been drinking only water for 2 days. My milk dried up, and we have nothing left to eat at home. Nia, listen to me." Hassan's voice hardened and took on a condescending tone. "Every day someone comes and says, 'I'll pay tomorrow.' I don't want to hear this story anymore. If there's no money, there's no shopping." Angelina's blood ran cold as she watched the scene unfold. She thought of her own children. Maddox, Pax, Zahara. They had all come from difficult circumstances. This young mother was going through the same thing. "Please," Nia's voice was now mixed with sobs. "Here's $3. Could you give me something small for that?" Hassan was ruthless. "You can't buy baby milk with $3, Nia. It's $5. Go somewhere else. There's nothing free in my store. And pay me what you owe me as soon as possible." At that moment, Angelina Jolie could no longer remain silent. She took off her sunglasses and stepped forward. "1 minute," he said in a calm but determined voice. "I heard that cruel remark." Hassan looked for a moment, then recognized the woman and was briefly shocked. Nia thought she was seeing things. But the voice was real. That familiar face was real. Are you really Angelina Jolie?" "Yes, sweetie, it's me." Angelina turned to her, her voice suddenly softening. "Who are you?" "I'm Nia Jefferson. This is my son, Noah. He's 3 months old." Nia's voice broke. Angelina turned to Hassan, her voice now colder than ice. "I can't believe what I just heard. How could you treat this woman so cruelly?" But the cruel shopkeeper didn't budge from his arrogant stance. "Ms. Jolie, this woman keeps coming here to borrow money. She's trying to scam me. I'm sick of it. This woman is starving with a 3-month-old baby, begging you for help, and you're treating her so cruelly." Angelina's voice grew harsher. The shopkeeper laughed mockingly. "The same story every day. I lost my husband. I have no money. My child is hungry. You can't fool me with these stories anymore." Nia told her story through tears. "I lost my husband James 6 months ago to cancer. They even blamed me at his funeral. I'm all alone, I have no money, and I can't produce milk because I'm so sad. Why would I lie to you?" Hearing this, Angelina's heart broke. This story triggered all of her sensitivities about social justice. She turned to the shopkeeper and spoke loudly. "Did you hear that? I hope you're ashamed of what you just said. This woman's baby is hungry, and you call her story a lie." The shopkeeper remained stubborn. "It's not my problem. Everyone tells me sad stories. I'm not a charity." You really have no heart." Angelina's voice trembled. "Can't you see the pain this woman is going through?" "I see it, but I don't care." The shop owner's words shocked everyone. At that moment, Angelina Jolie stepped forward. "I'll pay this woman's debt." "How much is it?" The shop owner's eyes lit up with dollar signs. He could smell the money. $550. Here's $1,000. From this moment on, if you speak disrespectfully, I'll shut down your shop in front of the media." The shop owner's face paled. Angelina Jolie was very serious. Every word she spoke could be her last. So he chose to remain silent. After Noah stopped crying, Angelina looked at him. The baby smiled at her. This moment melted Angelina's heart. "Look, even he understands that things will work out." "Come on, Nia, let's go," said Angelina. "Where are we going?" Nia asked in confusion. "First, we'll go to the nearest restaurant to eat. I'm also quite curious about your story. Tell me some details. Maybe I can help you." As they exited the market, Angelina held Nia's arm. "Everything will be okay, sweetheart. Trust me, everything will be okay." Angelina's words had given the young mother a glimmer of hope. The shopkeeper didn't call after them. He had learned his lesson from Angelina and was quietly counting his money. As they walked toward the car, Nia still felt like she was dreaming. This miraculous coincidence had happened so quickly that she couldn't get over the shock of it. Angelina took Nia straight to the nearest restaurant. Sitting in a luxurious restaurant in Beverly Hills, Nia Jefferson had never been to such a place in her life. Angelina Jolie sat across from her and had the waiters prepare a special baby meal for Noah. The little boy was finally asleep, his belly full, and Nia was going to make a plan against the people she had to settle scores with. "Now tell me everything," said Angelina, "starting with James. How did you meet him?" Nia took a deep breath. "We met at Cal State Long Beach. He was studying architecture. I was studying education. The first time I saw him, he was so different from everyone else. He really valued me." "How did his family react to your relationship?" Nia's face darkened. "They never accepted it. His father, Franklin, is a real estate agent. His mother, Margaret, is a housewife. They never looked at me warmly. They told James, 'We will never accept you marrying this girl.' But James chose you." "Yes." Nia's eyes filled with tears. "He stood up to his family. He said, 'If you don't accept Nia, you'll lose me too.' They even disinherited him." Angelina furrowed her brows. "And now they're blaming you." "At the funeral, Margaret told me, 'I lost my son because of you.' Franklin said, 'You drained his life force,' as if his illness was my fault." As Angelina listened to the woman's story, her heart ached a little more. However, she needed a little more information to help this young mother. "Did James have any insurance policies or leave an inheritance?" Nia's voice broke. "When James got married, he made me the beneficiary of his insurance policy. It was for $500,000. But during his illness, his family started visiting him constantly. While he was unconscious in the hospital, they made him sign something. They changed the beneficiary to themselves." Angelina's face hardened. "That's legally very suspicious. For a sick person to make such an important decision, but I can't prove it. At the time, I was desperate, trying to cope with both the pregnancy and the stress of his illness. Now the legal battle was beginning." Angelina pulled out her phone. "David, it's Angelina. I'm facing an urgent legal situation. Find the best estate lawyer. someone who specializes in the mental state of patients and signatures made under pressure. After hanging up, she turned to Naya. "Sweetheart, we'll fight this together. We'll review James's medical records and his mental state during his hospital stay. We'll prove that signature was obtained under pressure. And we'll get what's rightfully yours." "I can't fight them." Naya trembled with fear. "They're too powerful. They have money." "You're not alone." Angelina placed her hand on Nia's. "Don't worry. We're much stronger than them together. And you're doing this not just for money, but for Noah's future." 3 months later, in Los Angeles court, after a lengthy legal process, the day of the verdict had arrived. Naya Jefferson was defending her legal rights. Angelina Jolie sat beside her, offering her support. Across from them, Franklin and Margaret Jefferson sat with their lawyers. They were staring intently. Judge Patricia Monroe, 45 years old, was an experienced woman known for her fairness. "This case has been going on for months," said the judge. "The time has come to decide on the validity of James Jefferson's change of beneficiary." It was the final court day that would change her life. Naya's lawyer David Chen stood up. "Your Honor, medical records show that when James Jefferson signed the beneficiary change, he was undergoing cancer treatment and taking heavy medication. His mental capacity was significantly impaired." Franklin's lawyer responded, "James signed it of his own free will. His family was supporting him." David Chen presented the documents. "Hospital records show that the beneficiary change was made during James's most difficult days. Moreover, it was signed while his wife Naya was not at the hospital. Only his family was present." Margaret spoke with a trembling voice. "Your Honor, this is our family inheritance. James couldn't think straight because he was sick. His marriage to his wife was difficult." Naya felt her voice grow stronger as she spoke in court. "Your Honor, I am James's wife and Noah's mother. Our marriage was not difficult. On the contrary, we were very happy. I supported James during his most difficult days. And now I will defend our rights." The determination in her voice affected everyone. Angelina's support was not just financial. It gave Nia confidence and encouraged her to defend her rights. The judge examined the documents for a long time. "The court has reached its decision. Medical reports and hospital records indicate that James Jefferson's mental capacity was impaired at the time he made the beneficiary change. This signature was obtained under duress from a sick person. The $500,000 insurance policy belongs to his legal wife, Naya Jefferson, and their son, Noah Jefferson." Franklin jumped to his feet. "This is injustice. That money is part of our family fortune." "Mr. Jefferson," the judge gave him a stern look, "you will respect the court's decision." Margaret's eyes filled with tears. "This woman is defiling James's memory." "No," Naya said firmly. "I am protecting James's memory. He loved me and wanted me to be Noah's mother. It was you who ruined your son's happiness. But you always blamed me. Maybe James fell ill because of your lack of understanding. If you had been loving parents, if you hadn't pressured him, maybe he would be here with us today." These words hit them like a slap in the face. As they left the courtroom, Franklin whispered, "This isn't over. We'll appeal." Angelina interrupted him. "Mr. Jefferson, if you continue to bother Nia, I will file a complaint against you, and I will also announce this incident to the media. Your reputation, which you value so much, will be ruined." Franklin and Margaret couldn't say a word. Angelina Jolie's words were serious and true. Outside the courtroom, Nia was crying, but this time they were tears of joy. "We did it," said Angelina. "You did it, Nia. You stood up for your rights. I feel stronger than I've ever felt before," Nia whispered. 2 weeks later, the money had been transferred to her account. Nia rented a new home and bought everything Noah needed. Franklin and Margaret had played their last card and appealed, but the lawyers had told them they would lose. That evening, in her new home, as she hugged Noah, she looked at James's photo. My love, you were so right to stand up to your family. You protected us, and now I will protect Noah. I will always love you and keep you in my heart forever. As the sun set, Nia knew she was starting a new life with Noah. James's love had protected her, and Angelina's support had given her a second chance. Justice had finally been served, and Nia Jefferson would now live a happy life with her son as a strong woman. Remember, strong times create weak people, but difficult times create strong people. If you enjoyed this inspiring story, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to turn on notifications. See you in the next story.